The key for me is balance. There's no one right or wrong answer in this question. And so firstly, let's have a look at property. We know that by building a decent deposit, and by that I mean 10% plus, you're going to have greater flexibility on the property that you can choose and also on the likely mortgage deals that are available to you. So that we know that if you are in a position to accumulate a decent deposit for a property, it's going to provide you with greater flexibility in the short and medium term. Helpfully, there are products in the UK now that are available to help you build a decent house deposit, namely a lifetime ISA or LISA, where there are incentives for you to save if you meet the eligibility criteria. So that's key. But let's have a look at pensions, because there is a risk that by focusing on one, deposit versus pension, you are hindering yourself in later life. So when I refer to pensions, I'm focusing on defined contribution pensions. That is a group personal pension or perhaps a master trust plan, whichever your employer may provide. Now, importantly, there are only two stages to a pension plan. There is building up your pension fund, and then there is spending your pension fund. And I want to focus on the first part of that, which we often refer to as the accumulation stage. Now, I know for many of you, you believe that pensions are complicated products. But from my perspective, a pension is purely a long-term savings plan. And there are only 4 factors that will influence how big your pension fund is. Now, there may be a lot of decisions to make when you choose to spend your pension fund, but let's leave that for another session. In terms of building up your pension fund, the 4 factors are time, so we know that those people that save into a pension over a long period of time are highly more likely to get a larger pension fund than those people that save over a shorter time scale. And that is where I lead into the question around the balance between house deposit and your retirement. Secondly, contributions. What goes into your pension plan will make an important difference to the end result, and therefore limiting contributions in the early years is going to have a significant negative impact on your end fund value. Thirdly, there are charges, so all pension funds deduct a charge, but the smaller that charge, the more chance your fund has of growing well. And if you're in your employer's pension scheme, most employers will benefit from economies of scale with their pension plan and have lower charges that you can get as an individual on the market. And then finally, the 4th factor is fund performance. Now, helpfully, all workplace pension plans in the UK will have a default fund. So if you're not inclined, don't have the time or the knowledge to make your own investment decisions, the default fund will look to manage those investments for you, leading up to the point where you spend your pension monies. So in simple terms, those 4 factors will influence how big your pension fund is, and hopefully you can see that by reducing the time and the amount that you put in, if you were to focus purely on building a house deposit, is going to have a negative impact upon your ability to retire and have the flexibility as to what age you retire and what income you retire with. However, I'm conscious that there's also the balance of being able to afford a property and getting on the property ladder and building up a decent deposit. So coming back to my first word, which is balance, ultimately I'd ask all of you to consider that balance and making sure that you've perhaps got your foot in both camps. You're building a house deposit, you're taking advantage of the best products that are available for you in the UK, but you're also building up something for later life.